Hello everyone, welcome to a 1stEB city battle. And it is the Brits versus the Russians. And it's a conquest event, you can see them taking the flags already. So, on the United Kingdom side, we have the 84th, the 1stEB, and 77Y Colonel Aztir, oh goodness. And on the opposing side, on the Russians, we have the 13th RS, the 45th, and the QRA, of course, the 1st EVLN. Wonderful fellows. And here we go. So, capture the flag. You guys are all familiar with the process on this wonderful urban map. And we're in here with the British forces of the 84th. And there's Lieutenant Raz. Look at those braids. Fine, manly braids he's wearing right there. As you can see them getting set up and moving on to the next flag now that they've captured that one. So they're making their way down the river as Major Griggs gets taken down by the 1stEB out there. You can see them making their way down the riverside, across the wooden bridges, to the next capture point. Should be further up the riverbank, I suppose you could say. Canal bank. I suppose this is a canal, technically speaking, because it is man-made. But anyway. So here you can see another flag that has already been captured by the Russians. And you can now see the Brits starting to move in. And there you have it. Oh, goodness me, the base of the Russians is under attack, which means they're spawning. Oh dear, so they're going to have to move out now. So, apologies there by the 84th. Never mind. So, as we make our way through this fine city and lock in on other members of the 84th, there's Jajana, who's up the front. It's the man himself, the Smollett. Now, good to say there's no cannonballs on this game. So, fingers crossed he won't intercept any with his face. Checking through his spyglass. Checking numbers over there at the Russian flag. And forming a plan. And as you can see, the lads moving forward with, of course, Smollett in the lead. Probably why he catches so many bullets. So you can see certain areas can be crossed. You can get onto... Look at that. Shots coming in from the 84th. Cookies has gone down from the 45th. You can see them making use of the cover as they're holding this bridge against the 45th. Fine fire coming in. And there he goes. Down goes the Smollett. Poor Smollett. And I think that might have been firing in the charge, but I'm not sure. I'm not 100% certain what the rules are under the circumstances. But fortunately for Smollett and friends, they will get to spawn again. Because you can see up there on the left-hand side the tickets. So, right now the Russians have a 60 ticket advantage. Here he is. It's the Ginger Ninja. Out here on his own. Doesn't even have his gun equipped. This is how confident he is. The one-man regiment is Aztir. And it looks like the 1stEB are going up against the 1st EVLN. Lieutenant Colonel Cheese has just been sliced. Oh goodness, who's this? There's Avior, also of the 77Y, so there are some 77Y in here. Not many, but there's a few. So there we go. Lieutenant Avior, or Lieutenant Avior and Aztir, consists of the attendants of the 77Y today. Oh my goodness, look at that face. That's quite a face on Lieutenant Avior. So, we move over to Ensign William Jones, our friend IEC on YouTube. Definitely check him out. And you can see him now working together with his teammates to fight for supremacy with Jujana, and you can see the flag now dropping quickly. And the cursor, that keeps appearing due to the fact it being... Oh dear! Oh no, who's the submarine? Oh, that's Extreme Mini Gaming YT. Poor lad, he's doing his impression of a submarine, trying to get... There, he got some air. No, he's drowning, it's not going well. And his days as a submarine are going to come to a very messy end. He's going digging as well. So, extreme drowning, sadly. As there he goes. Now, there is Sarissa with a fine stab into his enemy. That was Cookies. And down goes Private Duke of the 45th. Killed by Lucky TG Mikey. So, the flag remains under the ownership of the Brits. You have the 1stEB, Evil Bitch, and Turbo Nut Supreme. Good God, what a fantastic name. And there you can see our members of the 1stEB and also veteran trooper from the 84th Jujana supporting it. Uh-oh, look out. Oh no, this is Mokabi from the 84th recruit. Going up against the Russians, that is the 40... And another one's off. Have we just lost another one? I thought we'd lost another one off the side. It's distinctly possible, but the 45th are trying to take out the enemy across the bridge. And you can see now the ticket numbers a little bit better. This could be bad for the 45th. Oh dear, who was that? Did somebody just walk? Yeah, that might have been Lieutenant Colonel Nova. Well, Lieutenant Colonel Nova standing in front of the guns, but never mind. So you've got the Combat Goat, another excellent name. There's Goob. And there's Iskul. And Mango Man, Trooper First Class. It's Boob! Who can forget the Boob? It's all about the Boob. There's Cannoneer Anti. Trooper Suicidal. Sergeant Major Psycho and all the members of the 84th. Lined up with a few Marines over here. And there's Colour Sergeant Evil Bitch. So, ahoy sailors! We have some boaters on the lake. Who are the fine sailors out? Oh, of course it had to be. And Lieutenant Charlie the Turtle. The Battle Turtle himself. Here he is. So, basically, these are the special ops, and I use obviously the word special in the most advised sense, and they're going behind enemy lines, albeit very badly. Oh, for God's sake. You can see why he's got a patch over one eye. Doesn't do depth perception very well. Not advisable when it comes to sailing a boat, but you know, gloss over details like that. As you can see, the Russians there have lost quite a few members. At the midpoint of the bridge, they're staying back, the 13th RS. There's Major Griggs. And these other guys here, Luane Emera and Dutch Disgust and Private Gandalf from the 13th RS. And Private Minibike and Tom Keel. Now, those guys are all making use of the cover. Oh, dear. Bodies everywhere. Left. Oh, it's Colonel Snowfox, no less. Look at that, from the 13th RS. And he's got Grenadier Saki and Hieronymus in there. Now, the trouble is it becomes a little bit of a standoff situation. As you can see, Hit and Blast and Avior and the other members of the 77Y, along with a few submariners underneath here, are doing their impression of the Titanic. I don't know which one of these is Rose. It's probably Aztir, but never mind. Cartridges floating on the water. And look at this. Veteran Raloff is boating it away. How steerable, we wonder. So, moving down and across all the teams, let's see who we can find. There's Sarissa, and they're continuing to fight. The Combat Goat also fighting at the wooden bridge. The 84th, look at this. Moving out under the leadership of Sir Smollett. Watch out. Getting ready. Out comes the pistol. Is there going to be anybody left? Apparently not. Sadly for Smollett, no shot today with the pistol. However, all the opponents have been vanquished. And Smollett leads the lads back to look for more quarry. No doubt over by the next flag. Make his way down this street and into this area here. And there is one of the most recently captured flags of the Brits. So he's going to have to make his way down to the Stony Bridge. Now, the other possibility is they might actually bugger off and go this way. Typical. Let's see. Oh, goodness. This is good. In come the 13th RS charging in as the 1stEB Bright Kid there. And the Combat Goat going in for a little bit of stabby goodness. Meanwhile, Zamiris finished off. And the mighty Payne, 2nd Lieutenant of the 13th RS, is defending himself mightily. But sadly stabbed to death at the last part. And oh dear, Corporal Gretel is down. And you can see here, the 84th now, supported by riflemen of the 77Y. Or at least they were supported as they ran past in the opposite direction. So, 239 to 185. The Brits have the advantage as we fly with the 84th and Smollett down the river edge to the next target. And it's going to be up ahead. Is he going to turn? He is. He's lining up and getting the boys to shoot at their enemy. These fine fellows here from the 45th and the 13th RS taking some casualties. Look at these fellows. ASF Alpha Alpha. Oh my goodness, what a name. It's Snow Fox, look at that. And now they're returning to return fire onto the members of the Scots, and down goes Recruit Achilles, killed by Colonel Snow Fox. And here you can see the 1stEB and other members of the 84th supporting their late lamented colonel. Oh, poor Smollett. Oh dear, there's supposed to be no officer aim in this game, but yeah. Don't know what's going on there. Oh, goodness. People falling down onto the quays. And there's Sergeant Bow taking a bullet or two. And here's another sailor. Veteran Raloff. And he's in. And he's back on dry ground. And ready to claim some scalps. Oh, my goodness. Avior. In with the hat. It's a fine hat. As we move up and we follow the leader, the Ginger Ninja. And it looks like they're capturing one of the Russian flags. Now, defensive options. You've got a very, very tight street that way. Pretty open area down through the canal edge and the river edge. And then this big stony bridge. So, as I briefly readjust. Adjust. Let's see, 211 tickets, 140. So right now the Brits have the advantage over the Russians. Now whether or not they're actually going to be able to do anything with that, we'll have to wait and see. But it's looking tricky for the Russians to get it back. I mean, that is coming up to nearly 2-1. Especially when you've got these guys over here on one side with Hit and Blast and Huntard. And of course, Ass Bombardier Spooky. That could be a system bombardier or he could be bombing arses. It's difficult to tell. With the 70s MY, you're never quite sure. And here is more of the 84th. Along with the 70s MY. Out comes a pistol. Which is completely of no use whatsoever. And Turbo Nut Supreme is going turbo. As he goes in and gets horribly murdered on the canal side. So, fights on the canal, as you can see. Blood dripping into the water. Brutal, brutal goings on. Mango Man, Trooper First Class. And there's the rifle of Huntard. Trying to take the enemy out. Who's this dodging around? It's Charlie. Chuck's on his way out. Oh, look out. Who's this? It's Evil Bitch. And she ain't evil anymore. Murdered horribly on the canal side. And there you can see the boob has been deboobed. Oh dear. Look at this. Reinforcements across the bridge in the form of Calthors. Is that it? Okay. Now, whether or not he was charging and other people were going to follow, don't know. But here's Recruit Cameron. And he's supported on the left flank by Ensign William Jones. And Cannoneer Anti and Lieutenant Raz. Here they come. Here come the Russians. And the Brits are not moving. Look at that. They're going in hardcore. Stabby goodness coming in from Recruit Cameron. Oh, fantastic. Look at him going absolute ham in there. Oh, massive amounts of 84th ham. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Oh, Cameron. That was serious 84th ham. Just glorious. Oh, dear. If he doesn't get a medal or a promotion, I'll be very, very surprised. So, let's see. We got a submariner down here somewhere. See what I mean? There's another one over here. There we go, see? Veteran Bram. You would have thought he could not fall off a bridge being a veteran, but apparently not. Never mind. Oh my goodness, it's a right old punch up. Jujana trying. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. They have successfully won that map. Great play there by the Brits team. And we move on to the next round. Hooray! And we're back on the same map for the next level. Well, it was for the next round, I should say. Well, it could be next level. You never know. As we flow through the water. Floating down the canal like a discarded turd. And look at that. There's an end to it. Oh my goodness, look at that. There's actually an end to the canal. I'd have to say, I'm not impressed by the building work here. I mean, not only that, but look at that. Even the water ends. The ground ends. It's just, disappointing. Disappointing workmanship there. Have to have a word with the architect. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, it's sailors. Oh, it had to be. It's the 77Y. Astia the Ginger Sailor. So look out, ladies and gentlemen. Watch out for sudden arrivals of seamen. So, we'll move away from those fellows and look at the 45th. As they're at least dressed properly. Something to be said for them. Oh, goodness. Whoops, Daisy. What happened there? Okay, that's not good. A little bit of a problem there. And, yeah, let's get away from the sailors. Here he is, look at this. In as a Russian comrade. Well, technically speaking, weren't comrades until after that time in October. So, this will be under the command of a Tsar. So, you never know, he might be extracted from royalty. This might actually be a royal Smollett, you never know. Won't mean he won't snuff it almost immediately, but, you know, we live in hope. There we go, look at that. Well, it's dodged already, and he's found a opportunistic tree. Lovely positioning there by His Grace the Smollett. As obviously, if he's royalty, then we've got to be nice to him. At least for a brief moment. There we go, he's had 30 seconds, that's all he's going to get. So they're now going to make an attack onto this flag. Oh, look out! Down he goes! Oh, poor Smollett. Dear, oh dear. And now you can see the 84th charging in going after the Black Watch that is the 13th RS. And you can see now the 1stEB coming in to support on the opposing side, and it's a sandwich. Colonel Snowfox supporting them. Oh goodness, there's boaters out there. Oh dear. A tad unfortunate, I would say. But either way, oh my god, there's some boys playing in the fountain. Don't watch out, because you're going to have shirtless seamen arriving very shortly. Somewhere out here on the canal edge. So the 13th RS, you can see now, come back with tags. And there, Uskal of the 1stEB taking pot shots at the likes of Extreme Mini Gaming YT. Oh, not Smollett again. Oh, poor Smollett. Always the bridesmaid, never the bride. That's Smollett. Now, let's see over here. Lieutenant Colonel or Lieutenant Colonel Nova moving forward with the 45th. And, oh my goodness, the 1stEB are going ham. Look at that. The 45th being taken down here. Recruit Achilles. Oh my goodness, look at this. A fight on the steps. Oh, Thomas shot while fighting for his life. And Snowfox and the 13th RS supported. Oh dear. By many others. And it looks like Aztir and his fellow sailors. Oh, here's the 84th. Getting into a battle. Going up against the 1stEB. And now breaking and attacking. There's Hyax. And Anubis. From the 1stEVLN. And also in with Grenadier Saki. Ooh, nasty stab, sir. But the Russians still holding that flag. As the officer fighting Colonel Snowfox. Look at that. Forces a team kill. Very important moment. And sadly, he was unable to avoid the bayonet that hit him from behind. But in comes some additional reinforcements in the force of the 1stEB. And the 13th RS finally finished off there. And now the other members of the Russian detachments can hold and raise that flag. So, what's going on with Colour Sergeant Evil Bitch? Currently out on her own. But look at this. Reinforcement making their way with Cap Dread and Bright Kid 04 and Recruit Achilles. So let's have a wait and see what happens. Oh, there they are. Yep, look at that. Fine nipples on display. We do approve of the fine sailory nipplage. And here we go. They're getting ready for the next sail. There's Colonel Aztir with a very short. Okay. As you can see, Colonel Aztir taking it gently. Ahoy, sailor. So, never mind. Let's move over and find out what's going on. As we look down the canal edges here. As we got Snowfox moving in with the boys. And they are pushing all the Russians before them. Oh dear, Cheese got sliced again. But down, further down is the defensive position of the 45th. In there with Raloff. And Cookies. Oh my goodness, they're taking pot shots at the sailors. That can't be allowed. There's Goob from the 1stEB. Oh, he takes a bullet. Can the guys on the edges get it? But firing back as well. Oh, he surrendered. Yep, a lot of good it did him. And now his corpse is going to be sailing into the blue skies. Never mind. and across the sea. By which time, oh God, Astir just drowned. Ah, can't trust a ginger sailor. So, Minibike now being supported by other members of the 13th RS, getting in there and getting personal against the Russians, the 84th, Commissar Yarek. And who's this? Who seems to have gone AFK? It's ASF, we call him ASF. And Corporal Flibbit, another great name. As these guys are fighting, it's Lieutenant Darling. Hello, Darling. And there we have it. A map change. Pretty good score-wise. We'll see you on the next round. And we are live after a map change. And look at this lovely town. The teams will be fighting over the Brits and the Russians again. There's cannons in certain emplacements, blocked off roads, streets that are going to be a problem, all surrounded by a high stone wall. And you can see here one of the squares. Oh, look at this. The defensives being damaged by the destruction of the 84th. Oh, look at this. They've broken their way in already. Broken down the 2 barricades, 3 barricades. The doors pushed to one side. And now they make their way into the town. The steel gates thrown aside. And look at this, the main square. And what looks like the church being defended by the 1stEB. That does look very church-like, and it does have a flag in it. So, who's hiding behind the altar? Oh, it's Turbo Nut Supreme. Oh, look at that. A nasty shot into the enemy. And let's have a look further down, as here is the flag. This is the location of the flag, currently being held by the Brits. And you've got Goob in there as well. And look at this. They're going to have to force their way in. And bullets are still going out. And down comes Thomaser in through the front door. Down goes Carrick as well. This is the problem they're going to have getting in there. As, look at that. Turbo Nut Supreme gets team killed by the goat. And a fine kill by Combat Goat. He's redeemed himself. And now this could be the opportunity that the Russians are looking for. It is. They start pouring in and killing any defenders, which they have now done. And flag number 7 immediately changes hands. So, Russians moving out. Down past the wall here. With cookies from the 45th. And looks like they're engaging down here at the main square with the 13th RS. Or possibly one of the squares, I should say. I'm not sure. Would you call this a plaza? I'm not sure what the term would be for a city. It's definitely not one of those pedestrian areas you get in modern cities. That's for damn sure. But either way, you do have these flags held by pretty substantial buildings. And let's have a look over here, because there's probably going to be more over here as well. There's a substantial building over here. And look at this. Looks like it could be possibly the church. It's pretty bare, I have to say. I don't think much of the decor. I haven't really done a lot of work on it. It's just windows, walls and a roof. It's just lazy. Lazy building, if you ask me. But what do I know? I'm not an architect. Either way, it is still... It could be sort of the centre of government for the town. It's difficult to say. But anyway. Let's see what happens. 440 tickets for the Russians. 407 for the British. So you're going to have these sort of market stalls down the road as well. Fine buildings like this one. which will have the flag in it, as you can see. Nobody in there yet, but people fighting outside to get entrance. Oh, brutal shot there into Huntard from Anstey. And this has been Charlie the Turtle fighting for his life against... It's Cameron. Oh, it's Cameron again. Look at him go. Oh, he stabs him in the bum. Oh, that's just low. But it was wonderful. We thought it was great. So, Recruit Cameron doing a great job so far. Look at that. 5 kills, 1 death. Yeah, I don't think he's going to be a recruit for long. Fantastic. So, Russians pouring into the buildings. You can hear them breaking the windows. Commissar Yarrick. Oh dear. Somebody derping out as they try and get in through the door. Now, the advantage, obviously, is this means it's a choke point. Obviously, somebody knocked on the door and the door came off its hinges, but, you know, whatever. Whatever. So, more members of the 84th making their way in. And defensive... Oh! Cookies murdered horribly as he tries to enter. And now the 84th are murderizing their way to defensive positions. Except for Psycho, who just got stabbed. And in comes Gretel, and out goes Gretel. So that's going to be a difficult situation for them to attack. As you've got the 84th dug in quite well. Supported also by the 1st ELVN. Here's Recruit Achilles of the 1stEB. Looking for that all-important melee kill. He's up against 3 Russians. Nice kill! Into Private Zulu of the 45th. Oh my goodness, it's a sailor. It's Goob. Ahar. Watch out, he's going to do you over with his chopper. Oh dear. And ironically enough, down goes the sailor. Yeah, we won't really say too much about that. So. Oh goodness. Oh dear. Fire coming in from the 13th RS. Shooting from the likes of Snow Fox and the lads. They've got themselves dug in a very nice position. Look at this. There's the pistol shots. And now you can see the lads starting to move up and push the advantage. As you've got Bombardier Spooky going in. Looks like all on his own. Doesn't seem to be supported by many of the 77 white. So literally he went all that way to fire a shot and then run away. Okay, Spooky. And now he's trying to get a reloading quickly. But now he's supported. The support team comes in from the 13th RS. They form the line. And they're going to engage the Russians at close distance. They've got to be very careful. They don't want to kill any of their own people like that. Oh no. Oh dear. Few team kills there. And it looks like E-Spikes from the 77Y has just been team killed as well. Never mind. Luena Mera is getting in to have a duel with the Russians out there in the garden. Huzzah indeed. Who is that defender? Currently running backwards. It's Cookies of the 45th. Oh, and now he's got support. Look at that. That's the reason the man was running backwards. As looks like Smartser got killed. And unfortunately so did Cookies. Team kill by Spreewald Huskarl of the 84th. So, fine beardage on Zulu there. As you can see them making their way in. And looking to capture the flag with 330 tickets to 327. So it's certainly a longer match, this one. Or it seems that way. Maybe it's just me. Anything's possible. God, they don't respect property match here, do they? Look at that. Didn't even knock, just kicked it off its hinges and walked in. Oh, goodness me. Yeah, this definitely looks very church-like. What gave it away? This is probably a dead giveaway, I have to say. But nice bell towers in the various areas, so we can sneak a look from the bell tower. This is all very sneaky, you see, being very surreptitious and checking out the bell tower and what's going on. Obviously, it's not a very flat floor for us to have the bell tower on, but, you know. So, oh god, we've fallen out of the bell tower already. That's how completely uncoordinated I am as a caster. So, and there's no way that I'm that tall. It's more down this direction. So here you can see fighting opposite what looks to be the main government building, possibly, or possibly the church. It's difficult to say. This is one church, so I'm guessing it's the vicarage, maybe, or equivalent thereof. And you can see some of the Black Watch continuing their battles to try and capture that flag and capture this area and certainly improve the ticket situation. Granted, oh goodness, there's not a huge amount of difference between the two teams. And you can see some of the Russians making their way over to this particular area. We're going to fly down and see how these guys are getting on. And there he is, extreme mini-gaming from the 45th. And he's going to... oh, gets hit by a bullet from a nasty position. He's going to be bleeding profusely now. He's going to have to return, get a reload in there. As the other members make their way in, the 84th pushing inwards. The 45th defending. Down goes Flibbit. Who's this man? It's Uskal from the 1stEB, defending with every fibre of his being. And he's about to lose some of that being soon. Oh, there's a little bit of a standoff here. They're blocking his way so he can't get... oh, and down he goes. Never mind. Ouch! That's pretty brutal coming in from Ugg. And now it's Ugg versus Cookies. Who will win? Look at this. And the first stab into Cookies, not looking good. Ugg still getting an important stab. Poor Cookies is no more. So, there's the 84th and the 1st ELVN. Having a bit of a punch-up. Yep. Yeah, this is pretty much Napoleonic Wars. This is what happens all the time. Silly punch-ups, kicks, you name it. It's just normal. Right. So now you can see the 13th RS, the Brits, reclaiming this building. But look. Out come pouring. Oh, perhaps less so pouring, but either way, some of the Russians do make their way out of the building through the windows. But now, Charlie the Turtle and the 77Y are in the building and are supporting now. Who's this on the cannon? It's Hacks of the 1stEB. Let's wait and see. Looking for an opportunity. Maybe some canister shots. Maybe one of those lovely cannonballs. Or he's just practicing. Practicing the cannonball shooting. I mean, whether or not you can do it like off a snooker cushion, you know, bounce it off there. Difficult to say. Oh dear. Here come the Black Watch. Making their way through with Major Griggs heading this line of the 13th. And who's this man on his own? It's E-Spike. But he's not on his own. It's in with Charlie the Turtle, Avior, Hit and Blast, and oh my goodness. Yep, there we go. The late Colonel Aztir. Dear oh dear, poor Aztir. So it's something about Napoleonic Wars and the... oh dear. Oh my goodness, what's going on there? There we go, Avior finished off and Colonel Nova finally murdered. So here is Chuck. The most brutal of all the turtles. Oh goodness me, look at this. Man goes trampling over all the crops deliberately. And he pays for it. That was Recruit Cameron came charging in, stamping all over their crops, and Charlie the Turtle took no prisoners and slayed him immediately. Never mind. So, now you can see the 84th under attack from this gang of roving 77Y and 13th RS. Here's Recruit Rusty, about to get de-rusted. Oh, look at that. Double blocking. But sadly stabbed on the hip, and he was finished off. So Raz in there as well. The 84th going up against, well, I imagine, one of the last members of the 77Y. It's Spooky defending himself from 3 Russians. Look at that. But couldn't keep it up forever. Yeah, Spooky's old problem. So we're in with Extreme Mini. Fine stabbing going in from Extreme Mini, but sadly the stabs were for him and not by him. Autismo also being finished off. Mini Bite being finished off. And Avior makes it in and dodges the bullets of the defending 45th. But not avoiding the bayonets. So look at this. The ambush team waiting. 185 tickets to 188. Still very close. As I adjust myself as I'm getting cramp ever so slightly. So, let's see what happens over here with this Russian detachment. There she is, barely human, looking very buxom this evening. Doesn't she look lovely? And Grenadier Atrio, and of course William Jones. Working together with Sergeant Bock and Commissioner Yarrick. Oh, Commissar Yarrick murdering his opponent. Who was that? That was that Lucky Mikey? Not so lucky that time. And here is Major Griggs. And he's going in. He's going ham. And unfortunately his ham got sliced. And there we go. A team kill onto Aztir from Charlie the Turtle. Normal service with the 77Y has been resumed. Oh, look at this mini bike. And other members of the 13th RS going in and stabbing the enemy fine. Look at that. Down goes mini bike. And now Ensign William Jones is in there. And they can now hold that flag. So, as he pauses to stretch. Oh, so much stretching. Oh, who's that? It's Lucky Mikey again. Going in for a second attempt. Can't get over the hill. Can't get over these walls. Charging in any second. There we go. The charge is in. And the Russians have retreated into the building. It's Ensign William Jones of the 84th. He's now cheesing it in the opposite direction and gets stabbed for his trouble. He got caught up on a box. Last man on that 84th defense. So, Colonel Snowfox and the other members of the 13th regrouping and forming a plan. Here we can see the Lieutenant Charlie the Turtle following in with other members of the 13th RS who are now piling into a building for defensive purposes. As we automatically just get camera thrown, or possibly not. No, they actually went right through the building and out the other side. So there we have it. Lieutenant Darling and the other... Who's that? They're in there again. Look at that. All over the crops. As that was poor old Bright Kid 04. Oh, sorry, that might have been Lieutenant Raz. Oh, look at this. Going ham. And that was Mackay. Sadly for him, he was unable to get the kills he would have liked. Managed to get a kill on Grenadier Saki, but not the mass murdering session he was hoping for. And so now the 13th RS are trying to deal with the likes of the 45th. It's a nice murdering stab coming in there in the background, as you heard. As look at this defensive position. The murdering camping position that this is. It's strategically holding place. Or defending, I think we should say. But never mind. Oh, goodness. So, somebody just dying out the back here as well. More Black Watch falling. As in comes Anubis of the 1st ELVN. Supporting. Who's this man here? It's Recruit Cameron. Look at that. His enemy gets shot just as he stabs him. Look at this. Some fine blocking coming in from Cameron, and he gets the kill. Look at that. He's going to be happy boy. So, as you can see, scores pretty much good across the board. Now, oh my goodness, it's the 13th RS. Following in, behind other members, Ahoy Sailors. In as the Marines, the 1stEB. It's Evil Bitch and Grenadier Sarissa moving up and getting closer. So, you can see 91 or 95 tickets to 60. So the Russians definitely have the advantage, only by a very small amount. It could change very quickly. A good line, a mass murdering session could change the entire... Oh dear. Extreme goes down. Now here's this defensive position from the 1stEB. There's UG waiting. And Captain Dread. But I don't think it's going to serve them any purpose. As we've got some maybe possible defenders. Yes, Russian defenders. I think holding this position has not helped them because they haven't been out there capturing flags. Which adds... Definitely didn't help him. Which adds to the bleed on your enemy. So we'll just have to wait and see. As in comes Recruit Achilles of the 1stEB. Looking for an opponent, going in for a stab. Nobody there. Look at that. Oh, fine stab, a turn there. Into Flibbit and another kill. Into... Can't see who that was. Oh my goodness, Aztir actually stabbed somebody. And Aztir then dies. So that's kind of the norm, really. So, here he is, the Smollett. He's got the pistol out. He's ready for action. What the hell is going on up there? It's like people are raining down on the building. He comes out. Oh, and the pistol miss. Sadly for Mr. Smollett. The most wonderful pistol ever in the history of the universe. And there we go. The Russians have won the round. And Smollett finishes with a heroic stab.